The Honorable Chief Justice Dr. Willie Mutunga, EGH, Honorable Minister for Provincial Administration and Internal Security, Honorable Kato Olemetito, EGH, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Provincial Administration and Internal Security, Mr. Mutai Ringo, CPS, the Secretary in charge of Provincial Administration and Security, Mr. Okioma, EPS, the current acting Commandant of Administration Police, President Mr. Arache, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, the members of the Fourth Estate, may I, at this juncture, Chief Justice, to present apologies from the Chairman of the National Police Service Commission, Mr. Johnson Kapuludi, who called me late at night that he may not be able to travel from Western Province to attend this function. Similarly, may I also present apologies of the Chairman of the Independent Police Oversight Authority, Mr. Macharia, who is not able to join us. From the onset, I wish to take this opportunity in a special way to thank His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya, who is also the Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces, His Excellency Honorable Mwai Kibaki, CGH MP, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, His Excellency Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, EGH, my Minister present here, Ole Metito, and the PS Provincial Administration, Mr. Mutea Iringo, the National Police Service Commission, the National Assembly, and the people of Kenya for according me the opportunity and the privilege to serve as the first Inspector General of the National Police Service. Secondly, I also wish to thank all fellow police officers serving in the National Police Service for the good work that they have all along been doing or rendering to our people of Kenya. These officers perform one of the most important jobs in this country, and they execute their work with great courage, skill, and commitment under some of the most difficult conditions imaginable. As a career officer, I've always felt that policing is one of the noblest professions that a person can undertake. Having been in the force for the last 32 years, I can say with confidence that dedicated police work can bring one incredible rewards and responsibilities. Police officers should feel very proud of what they do, as it is a calling of duty. The police officers are not there just because of the sake of doing the work or for the sake of money, but it is a calling. Today, Chief Justice, the task of reforming our National Police Service is gaining momentum. The new Constitution provides a strong foundation for a radical program for police officers and police reforms. These reforms are starting to take shape as we witness in the just concluded National Police Service appointments. It is now possible for every police officer to chart a part in their professional lives that could lead to their ascendance to the highest office in the service. Anyone reading our local dailies or watching television will no doubt know that the police service has been one of the most criticized institutions in this country. I think as a service, we should start taking this criticism seriously and take the responsibility to address the numerous challenges and shortcomings being faced directly by us. Indeed, no one should be other on the police service than the police service itself. The expectation of all of us is to have a more people-friendly, responsive, and professional national police service, a service which derives its powers from the people of Kenya, whose sovereign power is enshrined in our current constitution, and a service which will selflessly serve all Kenyans regardless of their gender, social status, or geographical location. I make this pledge to Kenyans. The National Police Service shall ensure that you live and earn your livelihood in a peaceful and secure environment. However, all this cannot be fully realized without support from the members of the public. We therefore request you as patriotic citizens of this country to cooperate and participate in addressing issues of insecurity in our country. I believe that empowering the public should be at the heart of the National Police Service reform program. The police are a public service. They are required to serve as a servants of the people and respond to the local community needs. This is why we now have a Police Service Commission and an independent police oversight authority manned by civilians. These bodies will promote accountability to National Police Service, and their input will be invaluable in policing. In order to combat crime, there is need for a people-friendly National Police Service. This would make it easy for members of the public to report crime or suspicious acts that is committed within their midst. Members of the public should be encouraged to speak to the police more, and the service can make this process much easier by getting involved in neighborhood community meetings. In addition, the service should endeavor to give the public more information about crime and policing in their local areas, more specifically on crime mapping and how the criminal justice system works within our country. Involving local communities in fighting crime will help restore trust in the police, and we shall be in a better position to reduce incidences of crime drastically. To ensure the success of public participation in policing, there is need to make the police more visible and available to members of the public than ever before. I know that police officers join the service because they want to put criminals behind bars and keep Kenyans safe. At least I know that is why I joined this service 2 years ago. And yet, there are numerous officers who are performing mundane duties that do not directly relate to the keeping Kenyans safe. There are numerous officers who are parade in paperwork at police stations or are attached to VIP protections as choppers or bodyguards. I would like to see more officers on the front line protecting the Kenyans rather than doing other duties that they are not meant for. We should never be accused of serving the high and mighty in society at the expense of the ordinary mwananchi. The National Police Service needs change in its attitude to policing. Police officers are to ensure that all Kenyans, together with their properties, are protected and they are safe. Officers must not imagine that they have immunity against the planned human rights abuses. The Bill of Rights under Chapter 4 of the Constitution must be observed at all times. I urge all officers to rededicate their focus on our highest mission and unveiling public safety service to all Kenyans. There are many ways of solving problems of insecurity in this country, but it can never be never be by merely talking and complaining about it. We have to take action. We must at all times act and take appropriate action now and in proactive and professional manner in order to fulfill our motto, utumishi kwa wote, and uaminifu na haki. On the officers' welfare, we shall work closely with the National Police Service Commission to negotiate with the government and lobby Parliament and other stakeholders to provide adequate financial allocation to ensure that our welfare in terms of remuneration, proper kitting, housing, transport, equipment, medical cover, and other requirements are catered for. But I should mention here that we need to make some difficult decisions to fight crime. We need to urgently reform police remuneration and condition of employment, not just to make more money for our police officers, but in order to reward skills and performance in crime fighting. The existing police pay structure is archaic. It has not factored in the tremendous changes in police responsibilities over the years. It is common knowledge that salaries in the private and the wider public sector have changed over the years to recognize and reward skills and performance. The most productive employees are paid more in these sectors. Employees are given incentives to improve their performance. Why can't this consideration be applied to the National Police Service? No meaningful reforms can be carried out without availability of adequate resources. The slow pace of reforms in the service in the past has been attributed to limited budgetary allocation to finance reforms activities. In this regard, I appeal to the government, and more so the Treasury, to avail adequate funds to assist us carry out our significant reforms to a standard that we can be able to be proud of. Chief Justice, I wish to state here that we shall spare no effort in our case to restore security in our country, from the local petty crimes that have run out of control in the neighborhood, the terrorist activities that we are also witnessing that continue to senselessly kill and maim Kenyans, the drug dealers who sell drugs to school children, the notorious kidnappers, the carjackers, the robbers, right up to the murderous incidences that we witness in our country, including an outlawed sect that we call them Mungiki, Taliban, American Marines, Chinese squad, and so forth and so forth. You have now nowhere to hide, and you cannot win the war as a criminal. We shall hand you and bring you to court. To all of us, we want to say, please be mindful, especially the road users. More specifically, in this case, our chief case, I'm addressing to all the drivers that are using our roads, that flouting traffic rules will be met with legal consequences. I'm introducing my officers to be steadfast in enforcing the traffic code to restore sanity on our roads. Any officer who demands or takes bribes from motorists to look the other way is a disgrace to this nation and does not deserve to be in uniform. I request members of the public to provide information that would help in apprehending such kind of malicious activities. And I want to emphasize here that the receiver and the keeper altogether will be dealt with accordingly. I acknowledge the role of the media, the civil society, the private sector, our colleagues in the security sector, and our partners in the criminal justice system for the invaluable support and cooperation that you have always accorded to us. We request for the same to continue, especially during this time of transformation. As you all know, on 4th of March of 2013, Kenyans will go to the polls to elect their leaders. Accordingly, the next 2 months will be critical in laying the ground of provision of proper security arrangements in order to ensure that Kenyans exercise their civic duty with utmost freedom and in a peaceful environment. I believe that Kenyans learned a painful lesson of the need for peaceful elections during the infamous 2007-2008 post-election violence, and shall endeavor to do all that we can to forestall requirements or measures or recurrences that we shall be able to address accordingly. I promise Kenyans that the National Police Service shall deal very firmly with any person who will attempt to sabotage the holding of peaceful elections in Kenya. We shall not tolerate any acts of violence during the important period. I intend to forge close working relations with the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, National Intelligence Service, and other stakeholders in this endeavor. Even as we now to be firm, as I vow to be firm, I would like to send my strongest appeal to the people of Kenya to conduct peaceful campaigns and also urge your politicians to be cautious in their speeches and desist from any potential divisive activities. Finally, Chief Justice, Honorable Chief Justice, sir, success or failure depends largely on the actions we collectively take as a community. Our choices today determine success or failure in the future. In this regard, therefore, I ask for political and public goodwill in all areas. As I conclude, I leave you with a question. Are we ready to change our way of doing things? Is our country ready to change our style of doing things? Attitude change by all is a remedy to most of all issues bedeviling our policy. May our Almighty God guide us through the noble cause that we are doing. Thank you very much, and may God bless Kenya.